Last installment, we were left with a number of questions concerning the transmission of punishment from Adam and Eve to later generations. If there is but one soul that all individual souls are fashioned from, Augustine doesn't have a problem with the punishment for Adam's sin being visited upon us today. On this view, we are just a further manifestation of our biological father. We can't outrun the past. But even if individual souls are fashioned independently of Adam's initial soul, Augustine doesn't find it perverse that we are punished for something in the distant past. What? Why? Let's look at his reasons. 1. We should not complain about the punishment of ignorance and immoderate desire. We should be happy to exist at all, and these inconveniences are actually great motivators for us to grow closer to God via piety and virtuous work. Being punished for Adam's sin is actually a blessing, not a curse for Augustine. So how does that sound to you? Poetic, right? Sort of, maybe? I kind of agree that suffering in its own way can be remarkable in what it causes humans to do and overcome. Think of all the great art and heroic acts that have come out of suffering. However, can we call it a blessing compared to what we would have had in the Edenic state? Are we blessed in comparison to Adam, or are we cursed? And that's a huge question that I want us to think about. 2. Okay, it looks like Augustine is of the view that sin is transmitted biologically, meaning that mortality, ignorance, and inordinate desire is passed on to each generation post-fall. However, the punishment isn't necessarily imposed upon souls. Souls, if they come from some hidden region within or without God, they are sent to animate these fallen bodies in such a way that they find their way back to God. These souls must petition the Creator for help to overcome the deleterious effects of the body that prevent fully loving God. This is a really interesting idea. It's almost like souls are on really dangerous rescue missions. What is not clear and may never be clear to me is why God would risk sending rational souls down to save mankind. Why are we worth saving? Why not keep the rational souls already within him there? Why must they be dragged down into the earthly muck and potentially, given the fallen state of the body, descend even lower than the earthly? Why not let man just generate and die like every other non-rational creature? What does God need us for? So tying this back in, the souls are not punished. The body is punished. God may send souls to save humanity. All right, the third point. Augustine also considers that God doesn't send the souls, but they find their way into our bodies, and in that way, it is not on God if they endure mortal punishment. God didn't send them, but he does offer them a way out if they earnestly seek. If souls accidentally find their way into human bodies or by their own intention, one cannot claim that there has been a perversion of divine justice. If anything, God is just because he tries to save souls through a salvific relationship.